Shalom Aleichem, good Devach. Anyway, we're on the third installment of, this is from Parshios VaYishlach, that's from last week, about how during Galus, Yaakov should deal with Eisav. Let's take a look at what, this is the Sefer Chideckel, let's see what he says about it, how Yaakov Avinu dealt with Eisav in Galus. So Parshas VaYishlach is the parsha of Galus, of exile. So V'al this is, here we are right now. V'al therefore kishehutzrich Rabbeinu HaKadosh v'meshech tekufos Galus l'shloach davar el Antoninos ben Eisav holach be'ikvosov shel zikenenu Yaakov v'darash betokef sheyisarehu Rabbi Efes b'shem Ebed. So Yalkain, therefore, kishehutzrach Rabbeinu HaKadosh, when Rabbeinu HaKadosh, Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, during b'meshech tekufos, during the time of the era of tekufas HaGalus, of the exile, l'shloach davar el Antoninos, to send something to Antoninos ben Eisav, Antoninos, the son of Eisav, the descendant of Eisav. Halach bi'ikvosav shel zikenenu Yaakov. He went in the heels, in the footsteps of our Zoken, our Zayde, our grandfather Yaakov. V'darash betokev sheyitzarehu Rabbi Efes, and he explicitly said very strongly, betokev, very strongly, I think, sheyitzarehu Rabbi Efes, that Rabbi Efes should frame him, should describe him b'shem Eved, in a way, the term of Eved, your servant. So he says, I am your servant Yaakov, your servant Yaakov. V'li'ateres Antoninos, and to crown Antoninos b'toar shem Adon, to crown him with the name of Adon as the master. In other words, to be very humble. V'omar ma ono tav min sabi. He said, what am I, greater than my grandfather? Am I greater than our grandfather Yaakov? Yaakov Avinu. That's the sabi, the grandfather is Yaakov Avinu. Lo kain. So it's not the way. So he's not. Lo kain. Omar ko Omar abdecha. Lo kain Omar ko Omar abdecha Yaakov. Isn't it not said that so says your servant Yaakov? In other words, Yaakov said your servant. So Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, when he sent a message to Antoninos, he said, your servant Rabbi Yehuda. V'yal derech zeh matzinu, v'yal derech zeh, in this way, matzinu lahalon b'Parshas shekasav lamed gimel tesvav, v'yomer Eisav, atziga na imcha min ha'om asher iti. And Eisav said, atziga na min amcha, atziga na imcha min ha'om asher iti. So let's see, it says here, Vayomer, let's see. It's Tesvav. Vayomer Eisav, atziga no imcha min ha'om asher iti. So that's Tesvav. Then Eisav said, let me assign to you some of the people who are with me. And he said, to what purpose? Yaakov said, to what purpose? Let me just have favor in my Lord's eyes. So this is, so in other words, Eisav gave the suggestion to leave some of his people with Yaakov to help him out. And Yaakov said no, politely declined this offer. Vayomer Eisav, Atzigana imcha min ha'am asher iti. And Eisav said, Atzigana imcha min ha'am asher iti. Let me assign to you some of the people that are with me. He came with 400 people, 400 men. Vayomer Yaakov said, Lama zeh emsachein be'einei Adoni. What is this that I have found so much favor in my master's eyes? In other words, thank you very much. I appreciate it, but thank you. But Vehevi Sham HaRamban, the Ramban brings over there Maimar HaMedrash, what it says in the Medrash, Rashis Rabbah, Parshas Ahmed Ayin Ches, Rashis Rabbah, Parsha Ayin Ches, that's 78 Sif test above the 15th Sif. Rabbi Yanai Kad Habe Solik Lemalchusa. Rabbi Yanai, when he went over to talk to the Malchus, to the kingdom, to the king, Habe Mistakel Bahada Parshata. He used to look at this parsha, the parsha of VaYishlach. Velo Habe Nasib Imei Romoin. And he didn't take Romans with him. In other words, he didn't accept Romans to come with him. V'kemoshe tzir of Yaakov Avinu le'Eisav kisheretza l'shloach me'anashav le'laboso. In the same way that Yaakov Avinu, he declined to have the men of Eisav to go with him. He declined. He said, "Thank you very much, but." It's much appreciated, but he doesn't need it. He politely declined. The Kamosha Sir of Yaakov is in the same way that Yaakov Avinu declined. The Eisav, when he wanted to send from his men the Lavosa to accompany him. Chad is man lowest akil ba. So one time he didn't go and he did not look at the parsha of how to deal with Eisav, and he allowed some Romans to come with him. So he didn't get to Akko until he sold his meal, his clothing, his coat. In other words, he had to sell his coat when he got to Akko. In other words, he was worse off for having the Romans come with him. In other words, he did not have to have the Romans' help. He did it on his own. He didn't look at the parsha to let him know that better be on your own, because he's not doing it for nothing. He's doing it for their own benefit. He's giving of his men. So, in other words, he wanted to be under his own rule and not have to deal with Romans or the Bnei Eisav. Mi va'er haRamban v'zeh lashona, and the Ramban explains, and this is his lashon. This is what he says: Mipnei shehayisa kabbalah b'yadam shazo Parshas Galus, because this was the Kabbalah. This was the what was handed down in their b'yadam, in their hands. Shazo Parshas Galus. This is the parsha of Galus, of exile. Kishahaya ba beRoma b'chotzar malchei Edom. When he was in Rome, in the courtyards of the Malchi Edom, the kings of Edom, al iskei hatzibor, on the things that the tzibor needed, on the matters of the tzibor, hayu mistakel beParshazu. He used to go to this. He used to look at this parsha. To go after the Eisav, the great advice of the Zaken HaChacham, the great grandfather, the great Zayde, Yaakov Avinu, ki mimenu yiru hadoros, and from this to show that he used to show the doros, the generations coming. V'chein yasu, and this is how it should be, that you should. Velo haba mekabel chevaras anshe romei lalavoso. He didn't accept the friendship. He didn't accept the men of Rome lalavoso to accompany him. Shein mekarben ela lahanoas atzman. They only come close to you for their own benefit. In other words, Eisav offered his men for his own benefit. In other words, to have a say in the matter. So Yaakov Avinu said, refused this. Shein mekarben ela lahanos atzman. They do not go and try to get close. Ela lahanos atzman, for their own benefit. So Yaakov Avinu understood this, and he refused in a polite way. Umafkirin mamono shel adam. Umafkirin mamono shel adam. And they make hefker the mamono shel adam. They want to mamono the money of a person. Ela lahanos atzman umafkirin mamono shel adam. So in other words, he wanted it. They want it for their own benefit. They want to have it for their own benefit. And over here, this Rabbi Yanai, when he went to go to the Malchus, talk to the Malchus about the tzibur. So below habanasib imei romayin. Oh yes. So he did not take with him romayin, but there was chad zman. But one time lo istakel ba, he didn't look in this parsha of VaYishlach. V'nasib imei romayin, and then he took with him romayin. Below he giya le'aku, and he didn't come to Aku ad shemach harpinas until he and Parshas, that's a me'il, until he had to sell his own coat to Shalo. In other words, it cost him a lot of money, and it would have been better that he would have been under his own Eisav. Yeshikayach, Hatzlacha Rebbe. So this is from VaYishlach. This is the Sefer Chideckel, on Parshas Hatorah, V'inyanei Hamoadim. Yeshikayach, Kol Tov. And this is the Chamisha Chumshei Torah from the Stone Edition. The Stone Edition with the English translation. It can be looked up. Thank you. Yeshikayach, Kol Tov.